it's a real honour, obviously, to be appointed as the coach for New South Wales. I guess as a young kid, I've grown up dreaming of wanting to play for New South Wales. Obviously the career was cut a little bit short, so I went the coaching route, and I've been very fortunate to cross paths with many great coaches and help me along the way to find the success across I guess my coaching career. But I find just the opportunity to think that I'm actually coaching New South Wales. I am pinching myself. I've been able to coach at many different levels, and I've dreamed of obviously doing this for New South Wales. So to have the opportunity, especially with the past coaches, obviously understand the ride of what it takes, and I've spoken to many of the previous coaches, players, and current players. So getting a real feel for how they feel about it, and also to people within the organisation. So I'm a big believer of that jersey, the blue jersey, is everything. That's where I'm going to base everything from. To whoever's involved, we all play a part. It's not about an individual, and I'd like to probably you can see that from the people that I brought in with my staff, Trotto and myself. We spent a fair bit of time talking about what can we create around the team that allows them to be their best, and I am very appreciative of those the staff members that have joined me. I've got a pass with all of them. Cardi, I've obviously known just as a coach across the game, and I've got a high respect for him, and he's got such a great connection with the old boys. I think that's going to be a real key, because I'm a big believer that the old boys, every time that they see that jersey running out the field, they're going to have a feeling of the joys and the rides of what goes on. And to Matty King and Brady White, I've been fortunate to have a bit of time with those boys at Melbourne Storm, and Kingy followed me across to South and was on the staff when we were fortunate to have the successes there at South in 2014. So I've got some great people, and Frankie Panisi, he came down to Melbourne in 2005 when I was down there as an assistant coach, and forged a great friendship in those early days. But to see him go on and do the great things that he's done with that club down there, and go on the ride of what it takes to find success. So and all the way to another Sean Edwards. He's been in a number of teams, but he knows how to connect with players, and he likes just to find the right performances, or the ability to allow a player to express themselves within what they're doing. So I guess I've got a great experience amongst the staff, which I'm looking forward to letting loose with the players in time. But we'll get together and spend a fair bit of time talking about the camps and how we'll go about that. And I'm fortunate that I can talk to past coaches like Ricky, Laurie, and I'll connect with Freddie at some stage. So I've got high respect for a lot of those people that we all want to have the state succeed, and I know they do, and I do just as much. So really looking forward to what's ahead, and I actually can't wait.
What's been the biggest bit of advice from the former Blues coaches for you?
I wouldn't say it's advice. It's just the discussions about the little parts of what it takes. I did actually have some conversations recently with them, and they said, Madge, it's massive. This arena is massive, and they said you'll feel it in time. But I already know that. I've obviously been fortunate to be around a number of the players that have been a part of Origin teams, and they describe it and talk about it. But I've been obviously in the international space now. So one thing I do know about this space is it comes down to one play. It could be one play as the differences of what rocks and rolls a game. So what we do and create as a group, the players, we all play a part. When I spoke about before about the blue jersey being everything, like we are all here to make that jersey successful, and it doesn't matter whether or not you're a player, administrator, staff, people here in the building, everyone in the state. It's everyone out in the country, rugby league. They're all watching, and how we can make them feel connected is by our performance. And if we can deliver the best arena for our players to perform at the best, well, we've got some of the best players in the world. We've got all the best players in the world that sit within the New South Wales team. So if we can give that the players the ability to be able to have the right environment, there's no reasons why we can start well, and off we go.
How do you juggle this with your Canberra?
That's going to be quite a reduced sort of role. I'll just be talking to Ricky now. My main focus really will be about the Blues now.
And can you speak to the last couple of weeks with the decisions with the Kiwis there?
Yep.
Obviously you're really passionate about that, Jim. So
yeah, Oh, look, unfortunately, things don't always work out the way you'd like. I still feel that I could have juggled both. Obviously, they're campaigns. It's just understanding that. But look, I respect people's thoughts, and one thing I do know is when you're working in a campaign, everyone's got to be aligned. And look, their thoughts are in a different direction. So I respected that, and obviously, I'm very fortunate now that I can go on with the Blues.
As you won a premiership with the Rabbitohs, but how much has what you've done with New Zealand or the time that you spent with New Zealand helped to prepare you for what lies ahead with Origin?
Brad, that's massive. I mean, I've been with the Kiwis there obviously for about 5-6 years now, and the connection that you have with players, that's the enjoyment part that I really get out of. It's players, families, who lives outside their space, and then being able to bring a group of players from all different clubs together in a short period of time. I've really enjoyed that part of the experiences I've had with the international space, and obviously going to bring that wealth of knowledge now to what we're doing moving forward. And look, I'll spend a lot of time going out and talking to players. They're the key. And the buy-in and that alignment that I spoke about is critical for the success of where we're going. And that's obviously what I learnt from my time with the international space.
I think when you took the Kiwis over, they were in 2018. They were like a pretty low spot. And obviously, the last game was a record win over the Kangaroos. I imagine that's the type of trajectory that you're hoping to achieve here. Yeah, well, that's why I do it, Brad. It's to create that. And one thing I want to make sure is that we want to win. That's ultimately why you do it. That's the key. But to be able to build a foundation and have the staff that we've got, the organisation behind us, if we create that, then the players come into the right environment to be able to find their headspace to be able to go and be at their best. And I always say, when you've got your best players, you just want to create the environment for those men to go out, and really they don't have to think, they just go and do what they're very capable of doing, and that's the environment that we're chasing.
Mate, we know what style of coach you are and you have been. Do you think you'll change your style given Origin is obviously a condensed period of the season?
Yeah, Bulldog, you've probably spoken about me in many different ways on how I am as a coach, and I get that. But coaching clubland to international and Origin is different. They're different beasts. They're different machines that move. Obviously, when you're coaching week to week in clubland, you're pulling and prodding different ways of moving forward, whereas when you've got the capabilities of the players that you have, and what I found in international, look, they're the ones that will find their way. We just create the right environment. So I guess in some ways, Bulldog, you probably laugh at me saying this, but I'm probably a little bit more relaxed in this space, because you're trying to get players of all ages when you're in clubland, and different abilities, whereas when you walk into this arena, you've got the best of the best, and allowing those players to express themselves is the key.
I know you touched on him earlier, like you say, best of the best, but Frank Panisi, can you just talk about how important he is and what he can actually bring to this role?
Frankie's enormous. As I said, I was fortunate when he first started down there, and I guess everyone's seen the journey that club's been on, and he just brings a wealth of knowledge, but just a calmness around how he goes about what he does. And that's one thing I do know, is that you've got it's the people, the team that you have around you, is the capabilities of where we'll go. And having someone of Frankie's nature of being able to be at many grand finals and knows the game, he knows grassroots, he knows everything. So we can have great discussions about how we can reach to the country regions, even though we're internally in camps, and he's come up with a few different ideas, which I won't share at the moment, about various things that we've got planned to be able to make sure that everyone can feel that they're on the journey of what we're about, because it's a momentum that you have in that stand. I've just obviously walked around here and talked about the tunnel, where the players can walk through out into the cauldron there. They're going to be special moments, and obviously someone like Frank, who's experienced pretty well everything across the game. When I asked him about the Origin arena, he said, it's one thing that I haven't done, Madge. I'd love to. He just jumped at it straight away, along with all the other staff. I mean, they're that excited about. Obviously, when you start, we've got a fresh start, and everyone now has the ability to realign and we've obviously got to paint a vision of where we want to go. But one thing I do know, everyone needs to buy in, and Frankie's one that understands that.
Freddie had some real quirky traits with his bonding sessions and earthing sessions and things like that, and players expect something completely different from him.
Have to wait and see. look, I think everyone probably knows my style over the years, and they see what I'm about. But look, one thing I will do is I want to talk to the players. I can't wait to. I haven't spoken to anyone. I want to get out and start talking to players, and they're the key. I mean, I've got the wealth of experience, and they're men that have been in big games, and a lot of those players have experienced this space. So, if we can free up that's going to be a real big part of where I want to take the team.
Madge, how much of a collaborative effort with the assistant coaches, with picking the assistant coaches? Because we know John was mentioned perhaps for this job.
Sorry.
Well, how much of a collaborative effort was picking the assistant coaches? Like, did you handpick them, or was that, because we know John Cartwright was mentioned for this job?
Yeah. Oh, no, it was all mine. Unfortunately, I'm pretty transparent when it comes to the people that work in the organisation, and I think John's well. And look, if you look across the staff, they're all in systems at the moment, and I find that especially when you're bringing a staff together. The staff need to understand how things are moving at the moment. The game changes very quickly, and the best thing that I have got is that I've got guys in systems now that are coming from good teams, and they're dealing with players, and every little conversation that you're having with a player is important, and they're going to be having some really important conversations about how we're going to set things up. So it was definitely obviously my thoughts about bringing that group together.
And just going back to New Zealand, how disappointing is it to leave what you had is really long-term plans behind, because you had plans about the juniors coming through and that kind of thing? How hard is it to leave that behind?
Yeah, oh, look, it is hard, obviously. You build a really strong connection with your players, and it's obviously that's what I want to build, obviously, now with the New South Wales boys. But look, I thoroughly enjoyed my time with the Kiwis, and as I said, I felt I probably could do both and keep it going, but it's not to be. But what I've learned and what they've taught me, the players, about the connections of coming into a camp and being together for periods of time, they've taught me a lot, the Kiwi boys, and very appreciative of that as well.
Thank you. Is Origin about players who've been there before and done it at the highest level, or about form?
But I'm going to keep a really open page on where I go. I think I'm big on form. I look at the biggest thing I'll say to each of the players, I can say this, is just go and play the best footy you can play, because that's going to play a part in where we go as a group. When you've got people in really good form and they're coming into camp, with a real positive mindset about how they want to do things, well, I go after those players, and I'm looking forward to, just letting the players go and play now. And I'll obviously have the discussions to be able to find ideas around what's going to best work for New South Wales and the squad. But I'm also going to say to them is just go and play, just go and enjoy doing what you're doing and get your bodies right. And when the time comes, we have to pick a team.
Is that your way of saying, mate, that if you've been there before, that doesn't guarantee that you'll be back there again?
Well, yeah. Yep, at the end of the day, as I said, I've got a pretty open sheet now, and that's the joys of being able to start fresh and allowing the players to not have to think, I just want them to go and play. And if they do that, I always say that your performances sort things out in time.
You're about to be front and centre of Rugby League's greatest rivalry match. I've got to ask, do you hate Queensland?
Yep.
Where does that hatred come from, Madge?
I've grown up basically watching, and I'm just like every young little kid that lives in New South Wales that supports New South Wales. And albeit I was born in Canberra, and I guess I was fortunate to come through in the early 90s when I had Ricky, Laurie, Bradley Clyde, the great players, and I also had obviously Mal Meninga in that stage as well. So there was plenty of rivalry back then. But I'm a New South Wales kid, so those are the players that, and I'll turn to those players. They've got a wealth of knowledge in itself, and I'm looking forward to talking. And I talk to Laurie a lot. Even though, even when he was coaching, I used to, we're pretty close, Laws, and he's obviously spoke to me about the ride that is in front of me, and I'm looking forward to being able to chat to Laws about how he did things, because one thing he's passionate, and all the New South Wales players, they're all passionate. There's a lot of passion, and there's a lot of passion within the team. I know that for sure, because I've dealt with a lot of the players over the last few years. So we'll bring that passion out and then bring it together, and look forward to obviously game one here.
Mate, you were in Melbourne from the mid-2000s through to 2000 until you went to Wigan. Billy Slater, he's obviously a guy you've coached. What's it going to be like to be going head-to-head with him?
Oh, I know Bill. I know him really well. Obviously spent a lot of time there, and he's a smart, astute player and coach. So look, he'll prepare his team, but I'm going to have a pretty sort of internal sort of focus around what we want to do. I think if we get everything right what we're doing, a lot of that external noise and what's going on will be sorted out.
And a lot of people discussed your coaching style. How do you discuss your own style?
Yeah, Bulldog, I mean, I don't really like talking about myself. I'm not really that type of person. I love being with my players. That's what I love, just coaching and getting the best out of a player. And everyone is different. You use different styles for whatever it might be. But I've obviously been around a fair bit now, and the thing that for myself is that I'm very one-on-one with my player, and then we build the team together. And as I said, it's players, staff, the whole of New South Wales. It's pretty incredible to stand here and think, we've got a state now that we're going to take on a journey, and obviously want everyone to feel that they're a part of that in some way, whether you're a supporter or. And I want the players and myself and our staff to represent that.
Do you think Origin's all about Queensland, as they suggested?
No, not at all. I don't know. I've never actually heard that, would I? We've got some great players that have played for New South Wales, some of the best in the game. So, I'll be touching base with a fair few of those to talk about how much they enjoy winning.